Hey guys, welcome to the Max Invest YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite EIPs. Now, an EIP is an Ethereum improvement proposal. So this is a proposed change to the base layer of the Ethereum network, and this needs to be carried out by the core developers. The way to actually get an EIP passed is you need to go for a rough consensus, and I have done a video on this previously. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. So I'm going to be talking about my top 5 or so favorite EIPs, and these are just the specific ones that I've picked out. As you can see by the magnitude of the numbers being EIP 3675, there are a lot of Ethereum improvement proposals. Now, all of these Ethereum improvement proposals will not necessarily get passed, so you should remember that all of these may not be passed that I talk about in this video. However, I do actually think the majority of these EIPs that I've picked out will be passed, and the reason for this is because they are some of the best ones out there right now, and they're being seriously considered by the core developers. The first EIP to discuss is EIP 3675. Now, this EIP is one of the rare EIPs that's basically a certainty to be passed, and the reason for this is because what this EIP is it's reflecting the merge. This EIP is the transition of Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, and this is where the core developers are putting most of their effort in right now. The entire 2022 is being dedicated to actually getting the Ethereum merge through. The code should be written by February, and the actual merge should come out a bit over halfway through the year, hopefully June to August type of range. Now, essentially all the merge is doing is it's taking Ethereum from its current proof of work system to proof of stake. Now, there's a range of different reasons that this is needed to be done. Essentially, the first reason for this is because proof of work is quite environmentally wasteful. Proof of work requires computers to actually solve a lot of difficult maths problems in order to produce blocks. Of course, this uses a lot of computational power, and we know that Bitcoin actually uses more energy than a lot of different countries combined. The second big reason for this is because proof of stake aligns incentives a lot better. Essentially, all of the people who are staking Ethereum are not forced to sell their Ethereum in order to pay for hardware costs. If you're talking about something like Bitcoin, there's individuals mining the Bitcoin. However, these individuals will need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year to spend on computational energy and on computers. Of course, they do need to therefore sell their Bitcoin in order to actually do this. With proof of stake, you don't need to sell your Ethereum unless you want to, and overall this aligns the incentives a lot better in my opinion, and it's definitely better for the health of the network. Now, the next more controversial reason is because proof of stake can actually be more secure. Of course, almost all Bitcoiners will disagree with this. However, I do actually believe that proof of stake will make Ethereum the most secure network that there is. Right now, Bitcoin is probably more secure than Ethereum. However, once the proof of stake upgrade goes through, I do feel quite confident in Ethereum. There's a few different reasons for this, such as slashing, which I do believe is very good, and slashing actually has the ability to defend against a 51% attack, whereas Bitcoin has no chance of defending against a 51% attack. Of course, a 51% attack is still unbelievably unlikely for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it does show that these networks are very secure right now. So this is definitely the upgrade that I'm the most excited for. It's the biggest upgrade, and it's one of the EIPs that almost every single person knows about. So the next few EIPs I'm going to talk about you may not have heard of just yet. The next EIP that I'm really excited for is EIP 3074. Now, this is an EIP that the majority of people haven't heard about. However, I do think this is an unbelievably important EIP. Essentially, EIP 3074 is dedicated to improving the user experience for individuals on the Ethereum network. Essentially, if you're active on Ethereum, you'll know that you do need to use for Ether to actually pay for gas. So every single time you want to execute a transaction, you do need to have about $100 worth of Ether in your wallet in order to actually pay for that transaction. Moreover, when when you want to do a transaction, you first need to approve the transaction, and then you second need to click transfer from in order to actually execute the transaction. So this means that you need to do 2 steps in order to do this. Of course, this is a bit inefficient from a user perspective, and EIP 3074 seeks to make the quality of life better for Ethereum people. What EIP 3074 allows you to do is it allows you to authorize an externally owned account to interact with a smart contract. So let's use a simple example. Say you're like me and you have a few different wallet addresses. I have about 4 or 5 wallet addresses right now, probably even more than that. And you want to use one account. However, this account has no Ether in it. Well, what you're actually able to do is you can draw Ether from another account and use that to pay for a transaction. Right now, you'd need to send Ether from one account to another. You'd need to incur a gas fee and incur a penalty. However, with this upgrade going through, it would make the user experience much better. It'd mean that you could connect all of your wallets together and you could use the Ethereum network with ease. So this allows you to do sponsored transactions where you pay for gas with another account. It also allows you to do batched transactions where you send multiple transactions at once and only pay the gas for one transaction, and it overall improves the user experience. You don't actually need to approve multiple different functions with EIP 3074. It's designed to make everything a little bit easier for the user, and I do think that this is definitely a very cool EIP that I would like to see passed. Now, the next big EIP that I want to discuss is one of the ones that I am very, very excited for, and this is EIP 4361. Essentially, what this EIP is trying to do is it's trying to make sign in with Ethereum a thing. If you use the Ethereum network, you'll know that when you interact with a DeFi application, you can simply just sign in with your Ethereum wallet. This makes it very, very easy, and you don't need to think about any passwords. All you do is you connect your wallet to the application and you're ready to go. This is very similar to Web 2 services. If you want to sign in to, say, Instagram, you could use your Facebook account, and if you want to sign into Google, you can even use your Facebook account as well. You can use multiple different Web 2 services to connect with other Web 2 services and sign in with them. Of course, currently you're able to sign in with Ethereum. However, EIP 4361 wants to make this experience even better. It wants to neatly integrate an Ethereum name service name with sign in with Ethereum, so you can always use your ENS name in order to connect your identity. Of course, you can already do this. However, this EIP wants to extend on what you can currently do a lot more. It means that every single time you interact with a DeFi application, you'll be able to let this application see your Ethereum name service name, and it's going to be able to figure out all of the data about you. Of course, if we're actually entering a Web3 based world and a lot of different people are going to be using crypto, you're going to want to easily have this data available. All this means is that every time you interact with any application, this application will be able to see more data about you. Of course, if you don't want to show this data, you won't need to, as it's your choice what data you put on your ENS name. However, when I look into the future, and I do see a lot of different applications using crypto, I see big banks and big Web 2 services using crypto, it's going to be very, very easy, as you'll be able to just walk into a bank, connect your crypto wallet with the bank, and they'll be able to resolve all of your details about you very, very easily. I do see a future where we actually move away from passports, and all we need to do is we need to connect our Ethereum wallet in order to interact with the world. Maybe I'm dreaming a little bit when I'm talking about this, however, I really do think that this will be happening in the future. I do think there will be a future where we connect our wallet, they'll be able to see our ENS name, they'll be able to see the data about us, and whatever data we want to show, we'll be able to show that, so this definitely excites me a lot. There's just 2 more EIPs that I want to talk about, and these are some quite technical ones. Essentially, the first one I want to talk about is EIP 4444, and what this EIP does is it allows for the elimination of historical data. This means that if somebody is running an Ethereum node, all they need to do is sync the Ethereum network from just 1 year ago. One of the big bottlenecks is that if you're running an Ethereum node, you need to sync the entire history of the Ethereum network. You need to prove that every single transaction has happened from the ground up. Of course, this means that it's quite difficult to run a node right now, and you need a 1 terabyte disk to validate the chain. Of course, this actually isn't that big and it's pretty easy to do. However, the point of this is making it even easier to do. And all you need to do is validate transactions from just 1 year ago and keep in sync with the top of the network. A lot of people call this pruning, and a lot of other blockchain networks are trying to do this. Of course, one of the issues that comes along with this is how do you preserve historical data? Essentially, Ethereum is an immutable base layer, and we want to know that every single transaction has actually happened. However, there are a lot of ways to preserve this data. Block explorers like Etherscan will preserve the data, the Graph will probably preserve the data, and there will be a lot of different decentralized autonomous organizations that are dedicated to preserving Ethereum. Of course, if an individual actually wants to sync from Genesis, they'll also be able to do this, so this doesn't worry me too much. I definitely think this is a very good EIP, and this is one of the ones I'm a bit more excited for, as overall it's going to make Ethereum a little bit faster and a little bit more decentralized, which is always great to see. Now, the last EIP that I want to discuss was proposed by Vitalik Buterin. Essentially, this EIP is called EIP 4488. Now, this EIP was recently very controversial because a lot of people wanted it done before the merge and some people wanted it done after the merge. However, individuals or the core development team ended up deciding that it was better off done after the merge, and the reason for this is because it would delay the merge. That's just a little bit of background on this. However, what this EIP wants to do is it wants to do cool data expansion. Essentially, rollups on top of the Ethereum network need to post their transaction data down to the main chain. So they actually have a bunch of cool data that they need to post down. Of course, the point of this is it's trying to make more space for cool data to be posted down to the main chain, which should make rollups cheaper. So this means that if you're using a rollup such as Arbitrum, it should be a bit cheaper to use. Vitalik did say that this will make rollups about 5 times cheaper to use. However, one of the issues with this is it means that if you're running an Ethereum node, you may need to process a bit more cool data, which will make it a bit harder to run a node, and it could make Ethereum a bit less decentralized. Of course, if we're talking about things like EIP 4444 coming in, it should actually balance Ethereum out a lot more, and we can actually raise the gas limit and raise the computational limits over time for Ethereum, because as technology progresses, computers get better and better, and it means that people can continue running nodes, and it means Ethereum can continue to be decentralized. So these are all of the different EIPs that I'm really excited about. I do hope that the majority of these EIPs actually pass, and I do think they probably will. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching the video.